Compassbox is known worldwide as a masterclass in blending technology and expertise. Today, we get to enjoy that very thing with a blended Scotch that is so mixed up it looks like my 23andMe results. On this episode of Savor the Burn, let's go. Hello, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, theys and thems. Welcome to the Savor the Burn podcast. My name is Jonathan. Across the barrels, way over there, is Mr. W2. How do you do?
Doing pretty fantastic. What an exciting night. This is great.
Yes, yeah.
And who do we have here?
Here in the middle of us here, we have the one and only Mr. Tanner Austin from the Kansas City Whiskey Guild. Once again, thank you for coming in. Thank you for joining us in Savor the Burn Studios and having another episode with us.
Absolutely. I appreciate being here. This is a lot of fun for me. So
good. Excellent. Because we're going to look to change all that. It's about to get a lot more difficult. I don't know how yet, but believe me, I've had a little bit of whiskey in me today. And, it just goes downhill for everybody around me from that point.
And now we get into the Scotch.
Yes. Now there's Scotch coming. So, in the intro, we said Compassbox. Master class, on blending expertise, and everybody knows how good they are. And this one here caught my eye because there was a guy on a horse wearing a traffic cone on his head. And if you drink enough Scotch, you will too. So I don't know if there's a story behind that anywhere in the notes or maybe on the back of the bottle, but I do want to get into that if at all possible. But where did this come from? Where did this Scotch? This bottle.
Take it away.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Absolutely.
Just a little background here.
Yeah, so this was a little gift I gave W2 over here. So this was actually a single marriage cask that the Whiskey Guild, the Kansas City Whiskey Guild, did. I believe it was back in 2022.
Okay.
Did it with a store over in Kansas called Gomer's of Kansas.
Nice.
But this was actually one of only 20 marriage casks that did that year. But yeah, so it was an extremely rare bottle. I have been a Compassbox fan for just years. When I was getting into whiskey and getting into Scotch especially, I was a huge Whiskey Tribe guy, still am. And they would always talk about Compassbox, how good it was. I started venturing through them. I messaged and said, hey, if there's ever a chance, I've got to do something with you guys, with the Whiskey Guild. And finally, after many years, I got connected to one of their national director of sales. And he said, dude, I feel like I keep breaking your heart. I'm going to jump you guys on the list, and we're going to give you one of the 20 worldwide this year.
Wow.
Cool.
So that's where this one came from. So, yeah, they sent over. We had a couple of options. We ended up going with this one. It's a little bit peated, which was, that's not everybody's favorite thing. But this one surprised a lot of people. And this one was, the reason we went with it was so unique because this particular marriage cask, they'd only ever done one other whiskey like it. And it was one of their limited time offerings, and that bottle was called Peat Monster Arcana.
Oh, cool.
So super, super cool bottle.
And you sent me the notes on the blend here.
Yeah, it's like
so we've got 30
table of contents.
It is. It's 35.2% Cameron Bridge Distillery, 34.1% distillery near the town of Avalor, 18.2% Lefroy Distillery, 9.9% Highland Malt Blend, and a 2.6% Clynelish Distillery. And then in the wood, we've got 37.8% First Fill Bourbon Barrel, 29% First Fill Sherry Butte, 18.2% Refill Bourbon Barrel, 5.1% Revatted Sherry. Is it Butte or is it Butt?
I've always heard it Butt.
Butt, yeah. Okay. 9.9% Custom French Oak Casks. So, they're clearly not just masters blending, but part of the art and science of blending is knowing which casks and how to leverage what different casks bring to the table with what's in there.
the brand is all about what I'll consider like additions and subtractions. You know, it's all going to be, okay, how can I make this particular one? How do I make this, blend well into, to be greater than the sum of the whole? And that's a lot of people, when they especially see blended Scotch, they kind of write it off. And they do that with American whiskeys too. And
sure.
If I can evangelize anything in whiskey, stop doing that, because I love single malts. I love, single cask, all that kind of stuff. But you can achieve so many different broader profiles by blending. And, when you're a blend of single malts, how can it be less than a single malt itself?
Yeah. I think Daniel from Whiskey Tribe and the Whiskey Vault, he evangelizes that. And he constantly talks about the thing he loves about Scotch and finds interesting in Scotch is what you can do in the blend. And he feels strongly about American single malt has that potential, blend it and lean into that. Everything doesn't have to be a single barrel. Everything doesn't have to be
right.
So we can venture.
Yeah, and rightly so. He's absolutely right to be stoked about those kind of things, because once you get into it, then you start to become more and more stoked to it and read into the backstory. Like, we haven't even opened this bottle, and W2 here just went through that list of. I mean, there's a Highland blend. It's already blended. A blend of Highland Scotches is one of the ingredients that goes in here. And then what was it, sherry butts and refilled sherry butts and get out of here. Like, there's all kinds of stuff going on here. This is like the Christopher Elbow, like the Kansas City-based chocolatier. The Christopher Elbow of Scotch blending is Compassbox. So I just, I had to put my 2 cents in there.
Is a distillery near the town of Aberlour? Is that saying something without saying something, is that going to be another distillery?
That can maybe be just kind of saying something without saying something.
All the people that work at Aberlour and live there and go to the same bar came to the blending table, the blending room, and helped out.
Right.
Got it.
If it's anything like the Kentucky distilleries, chances are they're all hanging out together. These Scotch distillery types, they're all hanging out together and telling each other stories and like, oh, you don't know what they do over there. That's the best Scotch accent I can give you on the fly like that. But
you nailed it.
How about you open that bottle?
I will, but before I do that, I want to thank everybody for checking us out here on YouTube and Spotify if you're watching, and every audio only podcast app of choice out there. We're definitely 100% thankful and happy to have you along. And we want to encourage you to share this and every other episode that we have, every single one of them, with your fellow whiskey enthusiast. And I have now we
get to watch you struggle.
Yeah, the struggle is real. Both brain cells that I have left are just rubbing hard. They're like trying to figure it out. Like, what are we doing now, Captain?
I mean, if they just put an aluminum crack cap on there like a Weller.
The problem is I started it backwards and
nailed it.
Yeah. So now
there we go.
I found it. There we go.
Good job.
There's a strip. I think this this comes off. Very delicate little capper foil. Oh, look at that. Look what's hiding underneath. And even better, even more beautiful descript topper.
Love it.
Absolutely beautiful. All right. Bottle pop.
Ooh,
nice.
Not bad.
Nice little pucker.
Yeah.
And that is, I believe, natural.
That looks like a natural cork. Yep.
You can tell because it's soaking into the the material there. I was just going to say, pass the glass, sir.
I pick up on cues.
So just a couple things I pulled off of the Compassbox website. To my knowledge, there is no age statement on this bottle.
Correct.
Does that sound correct? We are at 86 proof. Okay. Old school peaty blended Scotch whiskey. In his 1930s book, Whiskey, Aeneas MacDonald teaches us that Glaswegians historically preferred fuller-bodied and more flavor-packed whiskeys than people in other parts of the world. So what better name for a whiskey such as this? Which would be the Glasgow Blend. Glaswegians are also famed for their sense of humor, which is why the city's Wellington statue, traditionally dressed down with a traffic cone, is featured on the front label. So there you go.
So a little bit of Glaswegian humor.
Yeah. Drawing on historical references, the Glaswegians have long preferred bigger, smokier whiskeys. The higher malt content, approximately 65%, is inspired by 100 years of recipes. This bottle is 43%, which is the 86 proof. Natural color, not chill filtered, blended Scotch whiskey, and this particular expression was first released in 2014.
Also, I lied. This one is 49%.
Oh, well, there you go. 49. So now
stronger.
we're
94? No, 98?
98. Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
98.
The whiskey does it to you.
I graduated from Raytown High.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of honey. There's some of that grassy malt right there, and lightly peated.
I'm going to lean into the label on the front of this, the single marrying cask, because when I get this on the nose, the very first thing that comes to mind is a Speyside, Aberlour fruitiness with a wave of peat smoke coming right over top of it.
So you're picking up fruity.
I'm picking up the apples and honey of a Speyside and the peat of a Isla, which is going to be that Lafroig.
Yeah, the Freud definitely makes itself known on this.
So I thought it was lightly peated. You guys are thinking it's heavier? It's heavier?
I don't know if I would say it's heavy
the
peated.
Essence of the heavy peat is there.
But it's definitely way heavier than a light. I think a good Highland Scotch has a light peatiness to it. This is not that. This is a little bit more than that.
Okay.
I think this shows off what a balance of heavy peat can involve. So the single marriage cask on this one, they took all those whiskeys and then they tossed them into a sherry butt to marry. So that's where the marriage cask portion comes from. But yeah, again, as we talk about Compassbox, and John Glazier was the original whiskey maker on this one and the original founder of Compassbox. I mean, that was part of what he did was, again, the goal of whiskey blending is to make the sum of the whole, or,
some of the parts.
Yeah, some of the parts greater than the whole.
Yeah.
And I think this is a beautiful expression of how to do that.
Leather?
I was hoping to find out some of the, some of that, you said something about French oak in there, and with sherry, I expected, I was hoping, I wasn't expecting, I was hoping to find some of those raisiny kind of, raisin and dates or maybe fig on the nose, but there's just, the notes that we have here, they're so forward. It might mute some of those things at this proof.
I think the apple... and I think the apple I'm getting on the nose.
You said leather.
And I said leather.
Okay.
I think is going to be indicative of the sherry and French oak.
Do you? Okay.
I do.
Okay. All right. Well, let's
I'm ready to do this.
Toast a Compassbox. Get this bad boy on the palate.
Compassbox. Oh, whoa.
That's a ride. The honey carries through, but that is the first thing you find.
That is a barbecue billow of a smoke on the palate. So I was getting a fairly, I wouldn't go as far as a heavy smokiness on the nose, but I thought it was a healthy smokiness on the nose.
It's like a dry smoke.
The palate trumps the nose.
Mm-hmm. I like that you say barbecue smoke because that's really what it's indicative of. Whenever I hear people say they don't like peat, and they're like, oh, it's grassy and earthy, and
I don't think I understood the term barbecue smoke until I got into the Kilchoman Lochgorm. And I was just like, I get what a barbecue smoke tastes like now, because that one, it clicked. There's chocolate notes that I get within that smoke plume
on the finish,
on the palate,
because it gives like that almost like that drying effect again. Like it's less of the earthiness, but more of like we see what the drying aspect brings to it.
Yeah,
and it brings that across on the palate.
The apple, I think, carries through. It's a nice.
Is there a light lemongrass to that, maybe?
Maybe late palate.
Late palate is into the finish.
See, for me, I get the sherry not on the palate, but on the texture of it.
Okay.
Like kind of the effect of sherry. But it doesn't add as much of like those big, deep fruit notes. So think less stewed fruit and more of, the texture and the almost like the mouthfeel, the oiliness and the drying.
It definitely has a very viscousy oiliness.
It is, yeah.
And one of the things I think is nice about them is they do not chill filter, and they don't use any added color. So that's a good touch. That's a nice thing to have.
I know bourbon it also falls into that. So does rye, for that matter. Do other scotches? I know other whiskeys on the world do, but are there other scotches that do add color to that?
Absolutely. There's a lot of scotches. So the Scotch Whisky Association allows the usage of E150 caramel coloring up to a certain point. Now, the reason that they do it is almost expressly for foreign markets. I'm going to blame the United States.
Sales and marketing.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So the problem was like so many super aged scotches would be still light in color, used barrels, etc. They sent them to America, and America's like, that's not dark enough to be quality whiskey. I don't care if it's 25 years old.
Right.
So they said, okay, in order to have consistency and to actually appear a little darker for the American public, we're going to allow a little bit of caramel coloring. And then all of a sudden, Scotch started becoming more popular. Weird.
And then you go to Texas whiskey, and it's only a year and a half old, and it's so
and it's
dark.
black.
Bottle presentation. I really dig everything from the neck up. The black with the gold / brass kind of detail there on the.
You got some cool
with the logo. Yeah, the bottle's embossed here and there. Being a
on the punt?
Freemason, we see a compass and we're drawn to it. What's going on here on the bottom?
Probably nothing.
Nothing.
That's all right. That's all right.
No. Just marks probably from where it's from.
The factory groove.
Just a 1983 Taco Bell ashtray.
Yeah, pretty much. It's Braille for play cigarette here.
A lot of their higher end stuff, like when you talk bottle presentation, they have some of the coolest bottles out there.
Oh, and gorgeous boxes
Beautiful.
and the labels.
Yeah, they'll run their labeling or their design work through the inside of the box as well. We saw that with Kilcoman. They did that. That was pretty cool.
Ardbeg also does that.
Ardbeg, yeah.
It's that nice touch, again, because you'll see it on here. They call themselves a whiskey maker as opposed to a distiller, and they do that very intentionally, right? So they want that to be what they're known for. They want to be the best blending house. So again, when the Whiskey Guild had the opportunity to finally do this one, I was doing, like, it's hard to imagine this doing backflips, but I gave it my best. But I was like, this is the coolest
Still
opportunity.
have a pinched nerve.
Oh, absolutely.
3 crushed discs.
I threw everything you can throw out doing it. But yeah, super fun. A little water.
A drop of water.
About how much did you have in there? Half, 3/4 ounce? What?
Yeah, about a half an ounce.
Half ounce? All right. Should I do 2 then? I got about 3/4 ounce.
Yeah, maybe 2. I think it tamed the plume of barbecue smoke and brought some new dancers to the table.
So it might be closer to what distillery notes have to say. Are there distillery notes on the tasting?
I do have distillery notes.
All right.
I mean, again, it's not this bottle specifically, but just this expression in general.
Okay.
It says, full, bold, and smoky on the palate. Glasgow Blend unites the rich spice and fruitcake-like notes of sherry cask, aging with the maritime punch of Islay malt whiskey.
Yeah, that's about as descriptive as Fred No could get.
Well,
Bold.
There's more words there than
Spice.
just bold.
Interesting.
So John Glazer sent notes over on this one, and he said it would be like spices and kind of like sherry wine and things like that. I found that the sherry didn't inherently pull through.
It didn't
fully, and that and what I would.
Like you said, the texture was there.
Yeah, and
which I would not have expected.
Yeah, I like those big like deep fruit notes and things like that. But I think this is a really great example to a lot of people of what that wine finish can do.
Sure.
because it adds a lot more than just,
put water in it, the wine shows up.
Yeah.
There's a subtle complexity. So many times we've had several bourbons that have been finished in wine or port casks, and they're delicious, but there's so much influence to it that at some level, that's almost all you can taste. This, I feel like it's a very soft, subtle, nuanced finish, but I feel like it's adding a layer of complexity that's almost transparent. If that makes any sense.
Absolutely. And again, that's what I think this one does well, because especially with bourbons, or some other scotches are not necessarily bad. It's a choice. It's just a design choice for the whiskey maker. It's just like a scotch with port, a scotch with Palo Cortado, a scotch with insert Madeira. This one, I think it really could show, hey, this is how to incorporate the wine cask in order to create layer. So it's a whiskey first with sherry influencing it, not a whiskey that has wine in it.
Yeah.
Not everybody
different
does
wines
that.
will give you different kind of nuttiness to play with. Some of it's like a hazelnut kind of thing, or pecan or almond. This one here, it's just kind of like that mixed nut thing you see at family gatherings. It's just like a handful of that. Just crunch all that up.
Handful of nuts.
But it's a handful of nuts. Don't hold it in your hand too long, or you're gonna have a handful of something else.
Go
Salty
blind.
brine.
Go blind that way.
This keeps evolving.
Yeah.
The finish.
I love it when a whiskey does that. You put it in the glass.
Not just the glass, but I mean the finish is still going, and I'm picking out some different things.
But we've already contaminated it with 2 drops of water. But it really changed it right off the top. The wine notes came out after adding just 2 drops, and
vanilla came out.
Whatever it was, vanilla popped on the last one.
I'm getting almost like a sharp cherry on this one on the back end, but I think it's because the wine is starting to kind of show itself. But again,
I may even go black cherry.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's time for the rating, shall we?
Why not?
4 categories: nose, palate, finish, bottle presentation. Add it up, 0 to 5, possible 20. Divide that number by 2, and that's how we get our 0 to 10. No, we don't do a base 50 in this podcast. If it's bad, we're going to let you know. This, nowhere near bad. It's on the opposite end of the spectrum.
This is incredible.
Of where I don't even think bad is on this spectrum, where this particular bad boy lives. So it's absolutely delicious. Right off the top, we had honey, light peat. I thought it was light peat, but you guys said it was like Isla peat. So I'll scribble out the light and put down /Isla.
What I really do love about this, and it's indicative of what Compassbox does in their blending process, they are blending and marrying and bringing together kind of the best of both worlds. So if I love a good Speyside. I love a good Highland. I love a good hearty Isla Scotch. This kind of brings it all together in one single dram. And all of them are working together. All those different flavor profiles and what makes each of those unique are playing very nicely together in one harmonious pour. I love that.
It kind of reminds me of Christine. Like everybody that knew Christine was like, oh yeah, she's a beautiful car, but if you disrespect her, she's going to get you. And Arnie knew that better than anybody.
You went Stephen King. I got you. I'm following you.
Yeah, loves me some Stephen King. And Christine was a beautiful car. So getting back into it, there was a bit of a grassy kind of briny thing on the nose, along with some apples, fruity. You picked up on some leather. I thought it was pretty interesting. But that'd be gone now because of the water I added to it. But I was immediately impressed. And then some. So I gave it a 4.5 on the nose. How about you, W2? Where are you at?
I found you at 4.5.
You did? Okay. Okay. All right.
I picked the barrel and I came in lower at 4.25.
Yep. Get out. Like, we're gonna
roll credits.
make a big X through the TA column.
I apologize sincerely to everybody.
No matter who you are, where you are, who you're not drinking with ever again.
Well, so I'm going to piggyback off of that sentiment, though.
I'm not invited back. Thank you.
No.
Canceled.
So, in that vein, though, as we roll into the palate, one of the things that absolutely impressed me about this bottle was the things that I loved about the nose just exploded and came to life on the palate, like night and day on the palate. On the nose, the peaty smokiness was kind of subtle and light, but on the palate, it was like, hello, I'm here. And so as a result of that, I came up to 4 3/4 on my palate, just because as much as I loved the nose, the palate unexpectedly opened up, and everything, it was a floodgate that just came rushing into play.
I'm a big fan of floodgates. I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah. Also on the palate, there was honey, there was barbecue, maybe even honey barbecue. It was smoke. It was a dry smoke. You found chocolate in there with it. Apple, lemongrass, late palate, early finish, which we'll get to. Hold your horses. Whatever. Anyway, sherry texture, which is a new one, I think, here on the podcast. Usually there's sherry influence of some kind happening, but the texture, the mouthfeel doesn't until today. That was interesting. But as far as texture goes, we thought it was oily and viscous. You know, it really kind of sticks to the palate, and that carried through into the finish, which I didn't write. Maybe I'll circle it, arrow over here. That way we can get to it on the finish here in a little bit. I gave it a 5. I bumped it way up to a 5. I mean, this, as far as, blending goes, this one here to me is a perfect example of a perfect blend. And that's just my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. If you don't agree with me, you're wrong. But so you gave it a 4.75. Mr. Austin.
I'm going to ruin the system. I wrote 4.75 down, but the longer that we've sat with it, and there was a comment made about how it continued to evolve and grow, and I have to bump it to a 5.
Okay.
Because, again, it's everything I want, and that's why I ranked the nose almost a little lower, because what you're talking about, I think the nose does not match the drinking experience.
I do agree with that.
Yeah, and it's almost a little hidden. So, and maybe that's our fault. Maybe
it's
we
shy.
Didn't. Yeah, but when you get into it, I think the nose doesn't do the blend justice, and I think that's where that comes from. But yeah, the way that it's evolved, the more flavor that comes out of it, the more it's evocative of all the things I love out of a perfectly blended Scotch. Yeah, it has to be a 5.
Good time. So moving on to the finish, we already talked about a little bit of lemongrass carrying through. It was oily, it was kind of viscous and delicious. The smoky peatiness came through still, and I think there was still that honey, I think, also carried through. I didn't write that down. I should. And it was just kind of lingering. Like you said, the longer it just kind of sits there on the palate, it evolves and it changes, and it just kind of carries you through more and more and more and more, and you just kind of really get to fall in love with it.
There's definitely a journey there.
Yeah. So I brought mine. I kept mine at a 4.5 on the finish. How about you?
I'm right there with you. 4.5.
Yep. All right. All right.
I stuck at a 4.75 because again, it was the finish that brought the original palate up for me. And again, the way that it continues to evolve, and it's just so dynamic. Yeah, it's just great.
Love it.
That's a really good way to put it. Bottle presentation. We talked about it a bit, maybe not at great length, but really not all bottles need at great length, because we can go off on some side tangents. So it's your classic kind of shoulder whiskey bottle, whatever. It's nice. We like the glass embossments, the neck label, the whole topper thing, the stopper was really cool.
Where else are you going to see a guy on a horseback with a traffic cone on his head?
Raytown?
Well, there is that. Maybe Sugar Creek.
A Kansas City local.
Yeah, a Raytonian with Sugar Creek DNA. Yeah, you're going to find him out there going, yibbity yay-haw! And he's going to have a damn traffic cone on his head. I mean, Who hasn't had a traffic cone on their head? I really like how on the back, yes, it's all small print, and the black doesn't quite work well with the blood orange, label on here. So for me, it's a little hard. The older I get, the harder small words are to read. There's a lot of really small words on here, but I mean, there's a lot to really know about this bottle. You can't just get into it and be like, okay, next. No, it's so complex on the tasting experience. It really, you'd be interested to know just where this came from and how it came to be, how it came into existence. See what I did there? And then
I see what you did there.
The label gives you all of that information. So at the very least, I was wowed, and I gave it a 4.
Nice.
How about you, W2?
I gave it 4 1/4.
4 1/4? Mm-hmm. Mr. Tanner Austin.
Ended up on at a 4 on this one. Again, I think it plays into the affordability and kind of almost like the muted approach to it, but knowing Compassbox and some of the wild presentation they do and some of the other expressions, those I would for sure give 5s. But
all
this,
day long.
Yeah, this for what it is, I think it intends to be a 4, and I think that's where they wanted it to be.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. As to not be too much of a distraction.
Right.
It can be too gimmicky. Like we love our Loch Gorms and our who was it, Aberlours that had the super intricate, detailed boxes and bottle labels. Mm-hmm. It could be kind of gimmicky. I think Johnny Walker did that with their their Game of Thrones whiskey they did, or Scotch that they did, that whole line. It was really cool. It was fun, but it was, it's gimmicky.
And they did a couple.
There's nothing wrong with the gimmick. I love a good gimmick.
Right.
Yeah. The Game of Thrones collection is a variety of distilleries. I think Johnny Walker ended up with
Tale of Song,
at least one.
Song of Ice, a Song of Fire, and then the White Walker one.
Yep.
And then Diageo did all the other ones from all their single malt distilleries.
Owen did a couple of them.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, a couple of them are.
Have we gotten? We haven't gotten into Diageo.
Well, Diageo is the parent. Brand.
Okay. Well, I did not know that.
Diageo owns Oban. What else do they own?
Oban, Dalwhinnie, Craig Ellicky, Lagavulin, Kalila.
Lagavulin's got some good stuff.
Talisker. Yeah.
Talisker's got some good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. We had some with Josh.
Mm-hmm. In the words of the American Josh, spicy meatball.
I do love that man. I love that man. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. So, Mr. Austin, remind me again. You said this involved Kansas City Whiskey Guild somehow?
Yeah, so that was a Kansas City Whiskey Guild pick. All the other bottles have a little sticker on it that say Kansas City Whiskey Guild. This one was from my collection, so it did not have it.
Okay. So I keep looking for it. I'm like, it's got to be on here somewhere.
Yeah, I intended to drink them all myself.
Kind of a bummer.
So I never put the sticker on it. That's my fault.
So when I asked W2, like, if you had 10 bottles of this, what would you do? And he's like, yes. So you actually did have 10 bottles. You had a barrel's worth of bottles.
I bought 2 cases myself. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love this one.
I like it.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. So, I'm not going to ask you what you would do, because I think you'd keep it all neat. I don't think you'd throw it in a cocktail.
You could. I think it would make a dynamic cocktail.
Dude, this would be a Godfather all day long.
Yeah. Scotch sour, that Highland Park Scotch sour that you made 15 of them for me. This one would sing in that, but
a blood and sand.
Yeah.
What's in a blood and sand?
Yeah, so it'd
blood and sand.
Yeah,
Scotch.
Yeah, just all just raw aggregate and just pain in the mouth. Yeah, so you're going to be looking at a little bit of vermouth, obviously the Scotch, some orange juice. So it spices it up. It was named after a movie from the 1920s, I believe. It was a gladiator movie, but the color that it ends up is supposed to be evocative of the blood in the sand from the movie. So yeah, a little history there. But
20s were all black and white and silent, except for the music, right? Weren't they? I asked W2 like he knows, like he's a movie aficionado. What the hell? I bet if we asked Phil, he would know.
He'd probably know.
Phil Mageddon tends to know these things. He's a bevy of breadth and depth of information. He's incredible. So, is there going to be a Kansas City Whiskey Guild Compassbox number 2?
Stay tuned.
All right. Well, for that, let's get into our final scores.
Oh, yeah, final scores.
My final score ended up being a 9 even. How about you, Mr. W2?
Shut your mouth.
Really?
9 even.
Well, if my counting is correct, that makes 3 of us.
It does.
Wow.
3 nines across the board.
We have a consensus.
We do. Yeah, we're well within a bip, a quarter bip. We are bipped. We are bipped all the way.
I like it.
Yeah.
Love bipping.
I don't know what any of this means, but I'm here for it. So.
Yes.
Fun one?
Yeah.
Cool one to do.
This was totally a fun
awesome.
one. Yeah. This one's no longer available. Good luck finding it. If I'm wrong, please stop me. But
it's all private collection at this point.
If you have the opportunity to dip into somebody's private collection and try a bottle, do it. This is incredible. Find anything Compassbox has done and get into it. See, check out their body of work. They are, like we said at the top of the show, at the top of the hour, that it's they're a master class in expertise and how to do things right when it comes to blending scotches.
And each expression is different and tailored for a different type of palate and experience.
Yeah, every bottle. Every expression has a destination in mind, and they plot the course, and they know how to get there. They know how they want to get there. They know the pit stops, the gravel roads they want to take, and you can taste every bit, every drop of that journey in every bottle of Compassbox. So, no matter who you are, where you are, what you're drinking, and who you're drinking with, never forget,
keep on burning.